Start speaking a bunch of crap to you that you're like, yeah, right, it's unbelievable. Hello, other classroom. I know I can't see you, but I can see you. I'm in first class. So I started out my career with 2nd Battalion 7th Marines in 2003. Did several combat tours with them. After that, I went to NCIDC Kingsville, did a clinic, IA to Haiti. From there, so out of Haiti, I just basically went around on fast boys, VBSSing, and fighting in the Pirates of the Caribbean. After that, I went to First Force Recon. After First Force, I went to MWTC as the chief instructor for Mountain Medicine and Cold Weather Medicine. From there, I went to an INI in Springfield, Missouri, and now I came to the East Coast for my first East Coast stint here. I'm 15 years in, 5 years. All right. So taking the test for some experience of what I've had, my first ever exam was this exam. Right? I was only an HM for a month. I got capped. I was an HM for a month. They capped me to HM3. My first ever test was E5 exam. Right? Took me 5 times. Right? So I was like, first of all, I didn't even know how to fill out the scan. Right? And then proceeding on, and I was that guy that was like, man, I don't need to study. I got all this stuff down. I know how to do all this kind of stuff. And guess what? I finally studied and I made it. Right? Same thing for 6. Hopefully 6 times the charm for 7. So we're going to cover the NCRP 4 TAC 2121 Alpha, chapters 5 and 8. Per your bib, what is it? So what's the number? It's actually NCRP 3 TAC 40 Alpha .1, right? Yes. So your bib. So if they ask you a question, what is it, multi-force, tactical comp, whatever, what is the answer? NCRP 3 TAC 40 Alpha .1, right? So make sure when you're studying this stuff that you do refer to your bib as a reference. But basically, this is the Marine Corps. So what they did was they made this a big joint thing. So when you look this up for the joint catalog, it shows reference to 4 TAC 11.1 Alpha. Alright, so we're going over chapter 5 and 8. Chapter 5 is blister agents. Alright, now, how I'm going to teach this class, or I'm not teaching this class, right? I'm just reviewing. I'm not teaching you how to be an MVC expert. Alright, I'm teaching you what? Basic how to study for your exam. What's that? Chief's uploading the right PowerPoint. Alright. I believe Chief's updating that PowerPoint right now for you guys so you can open up your desktop. So just remember, I'm not teaching you this like you guys don't know anything about it, or this is going to be your area of expertise. But it's what you need to know on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to teach this to you guys on how you can reference what's in these PowerPoints to your ability to study. Everybody understand that? All right. Who's taking the E5 exam? Who's taking it more than once? Taking it more than twice? Taking it more than 3 times? 4, 5, 6. So how many questions have you seen? A ton, right? So this is what I want to see from you, all right? Because these references. So as I'm going through this, I have no problem with you sticking your hand up and saying, hey, HM1, I've seen that in exam. I've seen that before. All right? And then every one of you need to be doing what? Roger that. Boom. Right? Because now you're using the experience, several years of experience, several years of test taking on the same references to get these answers. All right. Of course, you got some things like some change transmittals that get put out, or there'll be some nav admins that put out PT and all these other things that you might have to study depending on what the bib says. This thing rotates over and over and over again. A lot of this stuff doesn't change. All right. So look at that. All right. One of the things I took from this last exam that I actually just took Thursday, the Navy's getting real big on acronyms, and acronyms that don't even exist. All right. They're taking let's go back to TRICARE, right? They're taking TRICARE Young Adult, and they're just saying TYA. All right. So it's stuff like that. They're like, in TYA, what determines blah, blah, and you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. All right? So be cognizant of what you are studying. All right? Be aware of what you're studying. Be aware of what part of the test you're in, because they're all grouped together, right? Like, I know, I wish they had sections where like, all right, now we're going to cover this part of the bit. They don't do that, right? They'll give you 2 or 3 questions, they'll plot them together, and you can be like, all right, I know where that's from. All right, that way you can use your references to kind of get your thing. So that's one thing I can pass to you that I have just seen. There are a ton of acronyms that aren't taught as acronyms. Just be aware of that. Okay. And then what I did see on this last one, I don't know if it applies to you guys, maybe it will. When they show you references, and they're like, which reference, what references, whatever, suicide prevention. I didn't see anyone that had OpNav, NavMed, ViewMed. It was all the number. It was all 3,500 point, whatever. 3,900 point, whatever. All right. So, all right. So chapter 5, blister agents. All right. HD. So, however you put these together, because you can say HD is, you study it and you try to use little acronyms and stuff like, all right, sulfur mustard, all right, that's simple, right? Nah. So all you're going to have to do with these is repetitive. Repeat, rinse and repeat, right? So these guys have already created questionnaires or exams for you or quizzes. Create your own on top of these. Has anybody started doing that? Y'all have until March. All right? Read the references. I'll read a reference and I'll be like, that would be a test question that I would write because I'd be laughing at you all the time, right? All right? So things like this I would put in there. What's the designation code for sulfur mustard? HD, right? Nitrogen mustard, those sites. All right? And then your CX, which has nothing to do with what it actually is, right? So you have to repetitively do these. If you want to make it a freaking string line where you put A to A and B to B or B to C or whatever you want to do, you just need to focus on these. All right? Is it in-depth? Not really. Right? All right. Signs and symptoms. We're going to go signs and symptoms, treatments, and other things. They burn and blister your skin, right? They're blister agents. All right. What else can you see on the test that's a word that's commonly used to identify blisters as well? Pustules. Right? You'll see that, right? They won't, and you'll be looking at the thing like, which agent causes blisters? Then they're like, what agent causes blisters? You're like, in the mouth, on the body. What am I talking about, right? You're going to make sure you study those sorts of things too, because they started doing that as well. May have delayed effects on blood-forming organs. We'll talk about that. Those sites cause pain within minutes of exposure. I can see that definitely being a test question. Which blister agent causes pain within minutes of exposure? I think I might even seen that. Right? No one else will take this test, but I think I have seen that. Right? CX causes immediate pain on contact. See that as another test question. That's probably why it's all rated out. Mustards have little or no pain at the time of exposure. All right? So I'm looking at these 3 already, right? So I'm seeing minimal, moderate, and immediate. Right? So I can easily put that in my brain hazard group that, leukocytes are minutes after exposure, mustard no pain at time of exposure, and CX is immediate pain. I can already put that and reference that in my head as a 1, 2, 3 type thing. Well, you might see one question, you might see no question. Right? You may study this whole freaking thing and not see a single question on chapter 5. That happens. All right, how do I identify it? How do I identify the agent itself? Okay. We've all seen these questions. What smells like fresh mown hay? What it smells like this. This is just when you get down and dirty. Luckily, with this, the bib is asking you to reference what? Chapter 5 and 8. What chapter 5? Blister. So automatically, all I'm going to know is HD smells like tar and garlic. Bluesite smell like this. And then if I see another one that doesn't even deal with stinking blister agents, I can already cross that one out, right? That's what I can do. Because now I'm only studying chapter 5 and chapter 8. Like 10 years ago when they were like, study this reference. You're like, well, okay. And they had like 2 questions out of chapter 9 and chapter 3, right? They're giving it to you. Alright? So HD smells like tar. What's HD? There we go. Alright? Bluesites smell. Has anybody smelled anything out in the field that smells like tar or garlic? I have. Burn pits and fucking chow halls. Chow halls. Burn pits and chow halls, right? So don't be going around like gas, 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 just because you think you smell it. It's there. When you smell it, you smell it. Alright? I haven't smelled it before, thank goodness. But be apparent that, it has a tar and garlic smell. Okay? This will not be in your test, I can guarantee it. It's not going to say, or others, which ones are others odorless. They won't say that. Severity is directly related to concentration of agent and duration of contact. That's self-explanatory, right? If I'm exposed to the agent longer, you think I'm going to have more signs and symptoms. Pretty easy, right? But they might throw into one of those. Geraniums, is that a flower? Anybody smell a geranium? Can you tell me the essence of geranium?
Very earthy.
Very earthy.
Very like, it's not like grass, but if you like break a dandelion, like that smell, it's very earthy.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of smells like that, but a little sweeter. Yeah, not really, for sure.
Alright, I need a field trip. You need to go to one of those shops and you need to ask the lady that's very lovely and dancing and twirling her hair what a dream. She's gonna say. I hope that's on the test. You guys are gonna get that. I remember that. Alright, self-aid exposure and decon for blistering agents. Alright, assume mop level 4. What is mop level 4? Everything. Say again?
Mask worn, gloves, boots,
Alright. Probably gonna need mop level 4. Okay? Because on this last test, it said during chemical attack that involved blister agents, you don mop level 4, which consists of what with your boots? And it was like worn, carried, not apparent. So they may ask you this question because we all know that when you read a reference, or you go and read an instruction, they have a bunch of references under there, right? So they can go straight to this and use that as a reference, and they can ask that type of question. Right? So you know your mop level. Right? Know what needs to be worn and things like that, because they may break it down as a question like that as what are you doing with your gloves? What are you doing with your mask? That's it. All right. Immediately decontaminate the eyes and the skin if exposed. Individuals in contact with casualties who have been exposed must be at mop level 4 plus wear. So if I have an individual that is not able to put on their gear, what do I do? All right, just like the airplane thing, right? What do I do? All right, there you go. I've seen that as a test question. Okay. Put yours on first, right? And then, I don't know how that works. It's like a kid there. Contaminated casualties should be separated from uncontaminated casualties until decon is complete. What? That's easy. Contamination, right? It's basically in there. I haven't seen that as a test question, so I couldn't tell you if it's in there or not. All right. Skin exposure reduction, faced against chemical warfare agents, is a topical skin protectant worn on wrists, ankles, armpits, groin, and wrist lines. Has anybody ever used this before? We used it in training, not the exact same, but we had like a mock thing. They said, we'll get this in country if we get it. I've never actually used it, never actually seen it. The only time I've ever been contaminated with MDC was I was in a chlorine gas explosion in 05. And all we did was drop down to the ground. We couldn't breathe for a while, and it sucked, but I haven't dealt with anything like this. All right, sulfur mustard, also known as what? HD. Oil or liquid ranging from colorless when pure to dark brown when impure. All right, so ranging from colorless to dark brown. It's a lot of different colors, right? All right. Basically, if you see this kind of stuff, I'm going here. All right. If you don't know what it is, if you don't know it's JP8, you know some type of lubricant, you know some thing people are being used, and you see it or you identify it, just get out of there. All right. But I mean, yeah, they could say HD ranges from what color to what color. Could be in there. All right. Or they'll screw with you and say sulfur mustard is what color, and it'll say colorless or dark brown. And you're like, ah, right. But just know colorless when pure and dark brown when impure. So it may say colorless when pure and dark brown. That's it. So you'll know it's good. Mustard gas only exists above 423 degrees Fahrenheit. That brings me to that thing on your. They're throwing some Celsius stuff in there as well. So I had one that was like you have a casualty that has disorientation, ANO times 2, temperature of something degrees Celsius, and I was like, what? It's like, I'm not in Canada, I'm in America. So they're throwing that out there too, so you know. Eyes are the most susceptible. Why are the eyes most susceptible? They're usually most susceptible to everything, but why? Alright? Can't really cover them. Alright? A lot of things are just, you don't have that protective layer of your skin to cause that time to differentiate between your eyes. So just go right in there. I have seen this. Okay? What agent causes conjunctivitis? I've seen that one. Anybody else seen that one? Looking over here. Expert. Alright? So I've seen this one. Fall exposure time about 1 hour. Late time 4 to 12 hours. I haven't really seen that. Alright. Permanent blindness can occur. I'm not going to see that here. Decontamination of the eye should be done within a few seconds of exposure as it isn't as effective after 2 minutes. I've seen that again. Alright. So with signs and symptoms of blistering agents, you're just going to have to review them, guys. You're just going to have to review them. And there may be one question, there may be none question. But that's the thrill of the freaking test, right? That's why everybody feels when they walk out of the test, they're like, man, I'm really glad they can't demote me for what I just scored on that. Alright, I get it, I understand it, I've done enough of these to agree with you. Alright. Healing of blisters. Areas of multi-pinpoint vesictation usually heal from 1 to 2 weeks. Haven't seen that on a test. Blisters of the face within 1 or 2 weeks. I don't think I've seen that either. Blisters located in other areas may take up to 2 to 4 weeks to heal. Unless painful, leave blisters intact. That's a general rule of thumb on blisters, right? But that's on the test, and you don't get that right. You know, maybe you want to be in it. In a clean environment, it may be antiseptically drained, but that's in a clean environment, not your echelon of care that we use. Right? I mean, we're echelon what? Boots on deck is usually what? Alright, so that's not what we do. Alright, we don't have the ability to control that. Alright, sterile dressings are applied to protect open areas. Effects of sulfur mustard on the respiratory tract. Alright. What do you think would happen? What do you think you're going to see?
Difficulty breathing.
Say again?
Shortness of breath.
Shortness of breath, right? Difficulty breathing. Why? Right? Pretty simple, pretty easy thing. If I'm thinking of what it can do on the outside of the body, what do you think it can do on the inside of the body? Right? That's the things we got to look at. All right? Inhalation is going to cause damage up and down all tracts of your respiratory system, right? To include, you've got to start from where? Mouth and your nose, right? all the way through. So when you're thinking about a test question, you got to think about what they want you to know first, right? So if I'm thinking of strictly signs and symptoms of blister disease, I can easily mark out a whole bunch of stuff, right? Because they'll probably throw something out that involves, you know, maybe the nervous system or something like that, to where it's just not, it doesn't jive, right? So you got to know kind of your signs and symptoms purely of a blister agent on the outside as opposed to the inside. All right. Single exposure does not produce significant injury, but chronic exposure may lead to progressive pulmonary fibrosis, chronic bronchitis, and bronchitis. In severe exposure, a cast may form. So, when else can this happen? What other type of injury? Everybody tell me? What other type of injury to the respiratory system? Burns? Burns, right? It can. But I'm talking about MBC, right? So what I'm trying to think, this is the only time it's ever going to happen with an MBC attack. So when I get that question, I can refer to this sentence and know blister agent is my answer. Right? Again, you got to know, you got to see. That's what we do as foremen. It's like a big puzzle. All right? We're really good at it, about putting this piece of the puzzle together. But we're also really good about trying to fit that big piece that we know doesn't go there and shove it in there all the freaking time, because that's what we like to do. We like to nuke shit. Stuff. All right? But just know what you're looking for. Respiratory tract lesions, I haven't seen that. Muscle cross DNA, group 1 carcinogens. Ingestion of food or water, self-explanatory. Exposure of only skin to HT can cause vomiting, fever, and malaise. Right, here we go. Skin contact for more than 5 mL of liquid. HT is likely to cause fatal systematic effects. All right. So I would probably remember that one. What dosage of HT for what? Over. All right. Remember, I'm going to do that over and over. HT is what? All right. So good. So 5 mils. It's fatal. You see that easily being a test question. All right. Never eat or drink water if it has been potentially exposed to chemicals. I'm not even going to read the rest of that, because you guys know. All right. Here's what I want you to remember. Anytime it deals with treatments and medication, dosages. All right, dosages. All right, because the majority of the time, dosages are going to give you what? 50-50 shot. Right? Because they're going to give you a medication, and they're going to give you a dosage. All right, they always do that. They'll give you a medication with a dosage. They'll give you a different medication with that same dosage. And then they'll reverse it. They'll give you the medication that you use and the different medication with a different dosage. Alright? Do it all the time. They never give you 4 different ones. Alright? Because then you get your fingers and be like, that one hurts really bad. I'm like, okay. Alright? Ratiofarine subcutaneously, 0.4, 0.8 milligrams reduced. I haven't seen this one on the exam. I've seen atropine subcutaneously. Right. But what I would do is I would put this one with this, I would put this one with this, and then I would reverse it. That was right. Yes.
So with this one, they like to trick you with the auto-injector. They'll ask you about it, but it's not the auto-injector, it's different.
It's subcutaneous,
so just
right?
make sure you know the difference.
That's good. What's auto-injector?
2 milligrams.
I am, right? Good, thank you. All right, HN, which is what? Nitrogen mustard. All right, what's HG? All right, HNs are oily. What else is oily? HNs are no oil, yeah. What else are oily? Remember when we talked about characteristics?
HD.
Same thing, right?
Color.
Similar, right? Pale yellow liquids. What was HD?
Brown.
Dark brown, right? All right. Now, this one does not smell like flowers or earthy. Faint, fishy odor. I have seen this one on a test. I might have seen this one on a couple tests. All right. Faint, fishy odor. While with some others are odorless. All right. HN1 is more volatile and than HN3. All right, so however you want to take that, I'm more volatile than you are. All right, if you want to remember it that way, whatever. All right, Lewisites, PD or ED. All right, so HD is what? HN is what? And PD and ED are what? Alright, now we got similarities here, right? Colorless and then brown in color, right? This is the stuff they're going to slip you up on. You're going to remember one or the other. You're like, oh, I remember HD is brown in color. And then you're like, oh, and then you're going to be like, forget Lewisites, right? And then they're going to give you a question, and it's going to have Lewisites on there and not HDs. Figure it out. Alright, problem study. Alright. More volatile than mustard and have a fruity, geranium-like odors. Oh man, there we go again. Okay. This is why it's just repetition, making those quizzes, studying those quizzes. Did you get that thing up to you?
It should be up there.
Okay.
At least actually both desktop and mobile should be good.
So, like I said, just study with these two things. So I'm looking at pretty much Lewisites. A lot of their characteristics are very similar to HD, right? Alright. Reaction rapidly with water, vigorous cause severe burns to the eyes and skin. We've already talked about that. Treatment of the eye includes atropine sulfite ointment and sodium. What's that? Solution that may be used to combat infection within 24 hours. Now, when you're dealing with medications, has anybody developed a good way to study medication? Who remembers the Farm Talks one? I still remember it because it was the hardest one. All right. So when you're talking about medication, our main medication we're looking at is with the beginning is what? Or go back. There we go. Alright, got it here, right? Boom. Can we go to our next one? Boom. Alright, so now I'm putting two and two together. Alright, if I can find little details within blister agents, as little as sodium, I can at least identify in the exam and reduce my questions and my answers, right? Because do I fully expect you to understand thousands and thousands of questions you may ask me? No. All right? But if I can start putting those pieces of puzzle together as a foreman, and think about blister agents per my reference, and I can remember things like atropine and sodium, I got a shot. All right? Sting pain is felt in 10 to 20 seconds. Haven't seen it. Blisters often develop 12 hours, painful at first. I have seen this one. Blisters often develop in 12 hours and are painful at first. Right. And will diminish 48 to 72 hours. Alright. British anti-Lewisite. Okay. Treatment of blisters is similar to mustard lesions. Blisters may contain, I haven't seen that, important note. Fluid loss is greater than mustard agents and require IU resuscitation. And it's important to identify which agent the cat is exposed to as IU resuscitation. How do we identify agents? It's not going to be on your test, right? Or is it? You want to study it? The paper? Huh? All right. Make sure you know the MA strips or the other one, which is the M9, M5, or whatever. Okay? For detection. Is it going to be on your test? Don't know, but that's the only way you're going to identify which agents are what. All right. Severe respiratory injuries such as pulmonary edema are likely to occur if a mask isn't put on immediately after exposure. Signs and symptoms of pulmonary edema. All right. Labor breathing, tachycardia, things like that. Okay. But you don't have to really remember that. All you have to really remember is pulmonary edema. Which is what's pulmonary edema? Basically drowning. Indications for treatment. All right. So, hospital dyspnea and frothy sputum. Can that be multiple things? Yes, it can. Right. But what are we talking about? Blister agents, right? So, if it identifies blister agents, we know what the skin does, and we know what can happen internally is the same thing that happens externally, right? You just got to think a little deeper on what's going to happen. If I know I have blisters internally, and then pulmonary edema is basically drowning, I'm kind of completely exposed. Skin burns the size of the palm of the hand. I wasn't decontaminating the first. All right. When it says skin burns of the size of the palm, can it be larger? Can it be smaller? Depending on what. Time and duration of contamination, right? If I'm rolling around in this stuff, you think I'm going to have bigger than a palm? All right. Skin contamination covering 5% or more of the body surface. I haven't seen that on test. TX is what? All right. So pretty much the only thing I'm looking with the X is that oxygen. You want to put it together? Put it together. All right. Very similar. All right. To differ from mustard by processing immediate cessation of pain, producing wills of hives instead of true blisters, and produce tissue necrosis, which is what? Dead or dying tissue, right? Which is usually what color? Right. And when it's dying, usually what color? Purple, right? Can be dark red, blue, black. Violently irritates mucous membranes of the eyes and nose. I have seen this one on the test, and I remember it had this answer. It had HD, it had leukocytes, and then it had a nerve agent of it. Right. But I do remember this one.
So another one with that one, you want to know the actual name, like the chemical name, not the phosgene oxide or whatever, but the dichloroformoxide. You want to know that. They put it on this last exam.
Boom. Within 30 seconds, area of contact may become blanched surrounded by ring. That's what we discussed over here, right? 3 weeks of decontamination. This might be on there, so that's a different reference if you're studying. All right, chapter 8. All right, so HD is what? HN is what? CX is what? And DEP is what? Alright, and then it has the BAL, which is what? Alright, treatments consist of what? Either atropine or something with what? Okay. Signs and symptoms of the outside of the skin. Let's go a little louder. Sorry. Blisters, right? Blister agents, right? All right. What about the inside? Pulmonary edema. That's we're dealing with the last one, which we have necrosis. That's good. HD characteristics. How's it feel? Oily. Okay. Color. Colorless to brown. All right, scent. Tar, garlic, or red. HN feels what? Color? Colors, yellowish brown, right? Leucites, color? Yellowish dark brown. Scent? Geraniums. Okay, good. Oh. Alright, chapter 8, smokes. Purpose. Very self-explanatory. Alright. First, obscure vision and hide truths. Equipment from the area of detection. Alright, also to see. I haven't seen a single smoke question on this. I'm not gonna tell you it's been on there.
They asked about Willie P.
They asked you about Willie P. Alright. Which is what? White phosphorus, right? Okay. Probably, was it sign and symptoms? Sign and symptoms.
And I think it said something about the color, right? The pale yellow.
Okay. Okay. I haven't seen one, so that's good enough. Has anybody dealt with smoke? Willie P. In general? No, not like you smoke cigarettes.
Like mortars?
Huh?
Like mortars?
Mortars, hand, incinerators, like all that kind of stuff. Howitzers. Protective mask is protection against all smoke, skin irritation. The biggest thing about smokes with the mask, which probably won't be on your test, is your filter's going to clog a lot faster. Why? The pores are a lot bigger. You can actually physically see them, right? And you physically see a lot of NBC agents that are here, right? So it'll tend to clog a little bit faster. That's not skin irritation can occur. Zinc chloride can produce skin lesions and burns. So you may encounter one that, like, what causes blisters on the skin, and it might throw this in there because you read that it has skin. Yes.
For white phosphorus, I've seen it where they talk about it like the product itself get on the skin and it's actively burning. The treatment of it, as far as like when you put mud or something on it.
Okay, we'll look at that. Probably right here. There's the pellet yellow solid. We'll cover white phosphorus. Yeah, like I said, this is awesome. Whenever you see this thing on the slide, pop your little hand up and figure it out. Okay. Petroleum oil smoke produced by vaporizing oils in smoke generators or engine exhaust or burn pits or whatever. Zinc oxide absorbs moisture from the air to form a grayish white smoke. I saw zinc oxide on this last exam and it was like, what makes rust a lot more, and it had zinc oxide on there, or easier or higher. So when you start seeing things that are like multiple, just really reference the questions that are around. Okay. HC has a sharp acid odor, can cause nose, throat, or chest irritation. Like I said, I haven't seen this on the exam, but it's in red. Exposure to high concentrations of HC in 1 minute can cause pulmonary edema and death. Irritants, corrosive actions, zinc, chloride. So if I'm thinking of anything with chloride, has anybody messed with anything with chloride? What's it do immediately after it touches the skin? Burns. Burns, and what does it also do? Pulls the moisture out, right? Dries it out. So when I'm thinking of anything with zinc chloride or MBC type stuff, and especially respiratory, I'm looking at bad things. Signs, symptoms, treatments, and prognosis. Haven't seen this on the test. Good to know. I'll go over that. Treatment. Relieved by subcutaneous injection of 0.5 of epinephrine hypochlorite. So we have the 0.5 milligrams, and then we had the 0.1 of what? 0.4 to 0.8 of what? Atropine what? Alright. So that's why I always say you guys really study these the dosages. Because the dosages are going to give you more information. Okay, so I have 4 to 8 of atropine, and I have 5 of your auto-injector for your epinephrine hypochlorite. they like to put these on the test as well. When can you give another dose? Love to give those on there. I saw an observation test or observation question, but I don't think it was this one. Standard smoke mixture for aircraft spray tanks. Acidity. All right, so that seems like it's a pretty common thing with smoke. Is the acidic smell or acidity of the smoke itself. Highly irritating to the eyes, nose, and upper airways and skin. That seems like it'd be a test question. Wash irritated skin with water, with or without soap, followed by sodium bicarbonate solution. I feel like that'd be it. Hey, is the way I'm doing this, is it better? I'm trying not to go over everything with you guys, because some of this stuff is just like, you know, it's not gonna happen. Which you probably will, and now you're gonna come back 18 months later. Alright, getting to it. Watch out for this as well, right? Was that a sign and symptom of something from your listen, right? So this may be a little bit different with the introduction of your photophobia with that. All right, white phosphorus smoke. All right, they said they hit this hard. All right, there's three different questions on it. Okay, so I think over here we got the characteristics of pale yellow waxy solid that ignites spontaneously on contact with air. Pretty much that one's going to get cut off of the question, probably right there. What's the characteristics of white phosphorus smoke, or WP? Flames produce hot dense smoke. I haven't seen that. Treatment of smoke irritation is necessary, but in order to fully remove particles, it has to be done surgically. Is that the one we were talking about? We talked about something about the mud, right?
It had to do with the human contact skin, use react, particular kind of bird.
And dive into reference, right? I mean, I did the EAP for the Chiefs exam. There's some questions that are on there, and some questions I had to really study for the reference. We can't cover everything. But I don't see this as being a question. Red phosphorus smoke is similar to Willie P. But I mean, this one's really big, and this one I see being really big on this slide.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with the smokes, inhalation is the sign and symptoms a lot different than